All right, after a whole bunch of lecturing, it is finally time to actually write some code and whatnot. So in this video, let's do a quick overview of some of the setup that we're going to go through rather quickly. All right, so here's the general architecture of what we're going to initially try to build. What's running inside of our browser is going to be a React application. This React application is going to communicate via network requests to a post service and a comments service. Both the post service and the comments service are going to be Express-based applications. We're not going to worry about any databases or anything like that. Instead, we're going to store all of our data in memory for this very first project. Again, this first project is just about giving you an idea of how this stuff works together, as opposed to really focusing on the nitty-gritty details of implementation. So let me tell you about the setup we're going to do in this video. We're going to first generate a new project using create React app. That's going to handle our React application. We're then going to scaffold out or put together a little bit of code for an Express-based project for the post service, and the same thing for the comments service as well. So in total, we're going to go through 3 things. Setting up each of these is going to take a little bit of time, so we might start by generating the React application, and then while that's initializing and installing itself, we'll probably go over and quickly set up the post and comments service as well. So I'm going to get started by going over to my terminal. I'm inside of a workspace directory of sorts. This can be anywhere on your computer. And inside of here, I'm going to make a new folder called blog. So that's going to be where I'm going to generate my entire set of different projects or services that's going to create the totality of our project. Inside of this blog directory, I'm then going to generate a new React application using npx create React app, and I'm going to call this simply client to say, hey, this is our web client. So that's going to take a couple of minutes to install. While that's running, I'm going to open up a second terminal window. And I'm once again inside of my blog project directory. So now inside of here, I'm going to create a folder for first my post service. So I'll say make dir, create a new folder called posts. I'm going to change into that directory. And then inside of here, I'm going to generate a new package.json file and then install a couple of dependencies into it. So I'm going to do an npm init-y. That's going to generate my package.json file. I'll then do an npm install, and we're going to get 4 different packages. We're going to get Express. We're going to get another package called cores. I'll tell you why we are going to use that in just a moment. Something called Axios. Again, I'll tell you why we're using that on the server in just a moment. And then finally, to actually run our project, all the code inside of it, we're going to use NodeMon as well. Okay, so that's my post project. Now we're going to repeat that same process for comments as well. So I'm going to create a third terminal window. I'm going to change back out to my workspace directory. So I'm once again inside of blog, and there's my client and post folders. Inside of here, I'm going to make a third project called comments. I'll change into comments. I'll do an npm init-y once again. And then we're going to install the same 4 dependencies that we just installed into the post project. So I'll do an npm install. We'll get Axios, cores, Express, and NodeMon. All right, there we go. So now after just a moment, comments will be all set up. Yep, there we go. I'm going to go back over to my second terminal window, which is where I installed posts. So it looks like the 4 dependencies for the post project were installed successfully as well. And then finally, if I go back to the first project window or the first terminal window, I should see the create React app all finished installing. On the first terminal window, I'm going to make sure that I change into that client directory. Okay, so now in total, I've got 3 terminal windows, 1 for client, I've got 1 for our post service, and 1 for our comments service as well. I can tell you right away that one of the most confusing things inside this course is going to be the number of terminal windows that we're running at any given time. And I can really apologize in advance because, well, I'm going to be changing between these terminal windows quite a bit. Hopefully at some point in time, I'll figure out a better way to present these things to you. What you'll probably see in the next video, I'll probably tile these windows so you can see all of them at the same time very easily. But I just want you to be aware that we're going to be working between multiple terminal windows quite a bit. And so it's really important for you to just be aware of what window we are in at any given time. Okay, so that's it for our initial project setup. So quick pause right here. Going to start writing some code in just a bit.